Hello everyone, and Happy New Year to each and every one of you, and thanks so much for all the lovely messages I received over the past few days. Today I'd like to speak about the energy crisis in Europe, and it's going to develop even greater in Ireland. We've already seen in Ireland where we have the most expensive energy costs across the European Union, and on New Year's Eve, Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, decided to stop the transit of the remaining Russian gas across Ukrainian territory. This was a multi-year deal that was worth up to $1 billion per year for Ukraine, and now they have decided, doing the work of the US, to stop the transit of Russian gas. This is going to impact countries such as Slovakia, perhaps it impact other countries across the European Union, and we've seen the fallout happening across Europe with the disagreement by those leaders of countries such as Hungary with Viktor Orban. We've seen it with Robert Fico of Slovakia complaining about the stopping the transit of cheaper Russian gas. Before the war in Ukraine, there was up to 40% of our gas across Europe was supplied via Russia. Everybody remembers the Nord Stream, and nobody talks about the explosion, the greatest terrorist attack on European territory in many, many years, an environmental disaster. But of course, that's never spoken about, and we all know fundamentally who was really behind the Nord Stream. But what's important with this is the impacts of who's going to benefit and profit from it. It's the US with their LNG gas. Up to 50% of our energy now across Europe is used from these private equity companies that are behind the profiteering from the LNG, which is coming all the way across the Atlantic Ocean and charging up to 2 or 3 times the cost. And the interesting thing about the LNG is that this is traded on the financial markets. So it's become a speculative commodity, and it's on the spot price. So where previously we had long-term contract agreements with Russia, now what's happening is it's going on the speculation and on the market. And we all know about record prices of per megawatt hour for electricity and gas. And who's going to pay for that ultimately? Of course, ordinary people. We see that across Ireland, where we see extortionate energy bills. Up to 3,000 people a year die because of energy poverty. But of course, that's never spoken about. And now over the next week or so, we're going to face sub-zero temperatures in Ireland, and even the possibility of snowfall in the next number of days. We see it's bitterly cold. Many people are struggling to pay their sky-high unaffordable bills. But the Irish government's response was to give energy credits, which was to keep the profits high for the big energy providers in Ireland. And of course, who's behind them? The big oligarchs. Who benefits? Always the super rich at our expense. And much the same, what's happening here is that these deals are being done in the interest of the US rather than the interests of the people of Europe or the people of Ireland. Now, also in the context of this, we've seen the industrialisation of many countries. We've seen that with Germany, for instance, and this is creating huge chaos across Europe and will continue to create more chaos. And you think, coming into the coldest time of the year, they decide then to cut off their supply lines to cheaper, more reliable energy. But of course, it's all about the private equity companies. It's all about the BlackRocks, the Vanguards and State Streets to profit from this, while ordinary people are the ones to suffer. But not alone that, here in Ireland we have our own political classes that are more willing to pull up taxes over the next number of months to keep even higher prices. They're going to put carbon tax up. They're going to look at increases in terms of a tax to pay for the grid, which is failing because of the pressure on the Irish grid, because of, surprise, surprise, data centres. Who benefits? Multinationals, yet again, while ordinary people are carrying the can. And also we see the impacts of more taxes on people as well, because of deliberate government policies that will just tax ordinary people and businesses out of existence. And this will have impacts of putting prices up, and as I said, businesses out of existence. And of course, there is discussions about putting the VAT up in April to 13.5%. So this is what's going on in Ireland. It's absolutely lunacy, not to mention the population increase and the extra pressures on the grid with the immigration chaos. So that's Ireland. We're going to be suffering with sky-high bills. But again, they're going to look at more ways of transferring public money into private hands rather than putting the needs of people first, such as their energy needs, and having a warm home where people are able to live a dignified existence. But that flies in the face of what they're doing. So really what they're doing is destroying Europe, destroying Ireland, and we're going to pick up the tab for this as well. And of course, Ukraine are going to be looking for more money and more weapons from the West. It's absolutely lunacy. Where can you afford to do it when energy costs are going to go up as well? So lunacy, the lunatics have taken over the asylum. And 2025, we've seen more of the same we've seen in 2024. The lunacy just continues. So thanks a lot for the support with all my videos. Really appreciate them. Please press subscribe to my YouTube channel. And from Dublin, Slán. And again, Happy New Year to you all. Take care.